Greetings, everyone. Welcome. It is Monday. We are going to kick off the week with an Ikoria Premier Draft here and see how this goes. We're at the waning weeks of Ikoria. We've got M21 previews flowing in from Wizards. Always a sign that the next set is right around the corner. Where am I at with this set? I'm not going to be sad seeing Ikoria go. I'm kind of done with the tension of the cycling deck and the disappointment of the mutate deck. I don't know. There's some cool things that have happened here in this format, but man, we played Eldraine on Thursday, and it felt so great. Like, the amount that I enjoyed Eldraine on last Thursday really underscored that I liked that set. Even with its problems on Arena, I liked it more than I'm liking Ikoria. I gotta say that. That being said, we are also marching towards 4x of our collection. We're going to check in on that today and see if we have made it to 4x of Ikoria rares. And if you haven't made it to 4x of Ikoria rares in paper, I know where you can go to get that done, right? CardKingdom.com. They're my sponsor. They help me out with my bills every month, and in exchange, I talk about what an awesome place they are to get Magic cards, and it's easy for me to do because I live what I speak. I go there all the time for magical cards, although I haven't gone in the store for quite a while. Looking forward to that as we approach phase 2 of reopening post-pandemic. I hope everybody's being safe and careful out there. Somewhat feels like America is shrugging and saying, whatever, COVID, we're going back, you know, and I don't know. I'm just trying to listen to the experts on that front and do what's right. But as long as it's safe, I am looking forward to heading back into Card Kingdom and picking up an order of cards in person at some point. It's been a long time since I've done that. But, you know, they're going to have incredible inventory, incredible customer service, incredible buy list prices, competitive prices on every front. And if you need your physical Magic stuff, you just ought to keep them in the loop. And if you do end up buying from them, going there through my affiliate link helps this channel out a lot. So you can do that for me. Thanks. And looks like today we do have the 10K gold, so this is kind of a free roll. Whenever you pay for gold entry, you know it's gold that you've earned through playing on the system. So this is the place where we make up for the fact that even I'm not good enough to win, to come out of these draft events with more than I went in on average. On average, I lose gems at these events. However, by building up gold every single day, every once in a while I get to do it for free, and that's really what makes up the difference between the costs around here and my my skill gap from being for being fully positive EV on these things. Yeah, the one thing I could have done and maybe should have done is put it to a vote and see if maybe y'all wanted to just draft offline. We could do Eldraine again. We could do Dominaria. You know, we don't have to draft Ikoria, but here we are. Let's do it this time. And then for the rest of the week, we'll talk a lot about... I'll give Ikoria alternatives to everybody to choose from. I am... Slayton, I'm in a similar spot. I crushed early and have struggled of late, and I've actually never had this card in a deck, I don't think. This is a pretty good place to start. And by that I mean Godzilla here. There's Baby Godzilla. What else have we got? Really nothing calling out at me. Splendor Mare is good. Baby Godzilla is reasonable in the mutate deck if you head that direction. Sandworm is a fine cycler. Symbiote is a great 2-drop for the mutate deck, but... I don't see... I mean, I know this is cycle 2 as opposed to cycle 1 red, but I don't see how you take Greater Sandworm over Yadaro here. It's not great. Media says Poliwag. But I'm going to take the rare. I've never gotten to play it. I'm going to try it. I mean, you could... I believe Media. Media's pretty smart. And if they say they like Baby Godzilla, that's probably some truth to that. But I do like given this rare a try that I haven't done before. Swallow Hole is some good removal. Boon is some good card draw and cycling 1. What do you think of this one? Oh, was there a Whisper Squad last pack? I don't know. I didn't even see the Whisper Squad. The cards that match aren't quite good enough for me to be taking that. I think the Boon is a pretty solid choice. If we end up in red-white cycling, we still have a cycle 1. But yeah, I've been these are the two that are really attracting me. Boot Nipper is good, but I don't want to take it here. I'm gonna take the Boon. Maybe we'll end up in blue-red or something. Or maybe we just get pushed into the cycling deck. I mean, there's a Marmoset here, there's a Healer, there's a Splendor Mare, there's a Cycle 1. I think I'm going to take Marm here. Matches are Yadaro and Medi wants the Boon because it hedges more. I don't know. If we didn't have a red card, I would agree, but we do have the Yadaro, like Marmoset. Although cycling 1 has been harder to get, but I'm going to try the Marm. I do think it's the best card here, and we'll see if the tools keep coming our way. And look at this. We just have to when the table's going to do this, right? All right. I mean, we could take the Heron, but what am I supposed to do? Right? It's making Razor sad, but it's what you would pick, right? I mean... All right. Another mare. This is the third mare in the pack already. We're going to take that and try and wheel this Reunion. Looks like there's some decent tools for the black human deck going around too. That is a deck that's often open. A lot of times what happens to me when I head towards cycling, if I'm heavy white, is that I backdoor into white-black humans. Stinger, Obv. Jeez. Is this where it gets easy? Is this where the drafting gets super simple? Here I like actually a Sands on the possible white splash. Escape Protocol is also interesting, actually. I've come around on this. I've come around on this as a possible inclusion in these types of decks as a way to protect your key cycling creatures. So I'm going to take the protocol here over the Sands that we don't need yet. We are probably not playing this, but you can. It does do some work. I like get Coordinating Charge as a cycling card when you've got Rescuers. Yeah, Colin. Sands was my second pick there. And if we had like the Wilt already or whatever, maybe I would have taken it. Look at this. So black's wide open. This is what's happening a lot. This is why I end up in black a lot. There's just such a density of playables in black that you tend to be pretty rewarded by sticking to it. Yeah, I guess it's possible we splash a destruction in some world with this cycling deck, so we can take that. I don't think we'll play it though. Take a splash land. Never doing Gremlin, but I guess I'll take the Dark Bargain. There are worlds in which we somehow back into black here with with the Booty Nip wheeling. It's obvious that black is pretty open here, but it's also obvious that I was pretty much forced to be in the cycling deck with what people were passing me. But look at this. Come on. I think first Deadweight over second Mutual Destruction. But maybe it's mutual destruct. Like, if we do end up with the rescuer plan... Yeah, we'll keep it in mind. Well, there's a rare that says Cycling 2 on it. I've still never cast this card. If the cycling ability no longer causes you to draw a card, instead exile cards from the top of your library to exile a card that shares a card type with the cycling card. You may cast that card. So it's like cycle into free stuff that matches what you cycled. It seems like it could be powerful, but it's rough. I've always felt like it just says Cycling 2. And to that end, I'd rather have a Rumbling Rock Slide or even a Rumbler. Or you take a Heartless Act if we think that the black is so open that we should be considering it. We do have... I guess the thing is, if we're red, we are just going to play the Rock Slide. I'm going to take the Rock Slide over the Act because if we do end up... Because I feel like we're going to end up in red, and I want the Sure Thing removal as opposed to the Might. But now I'll take an Easy Prey here, probably over anything I'm seeing. It cycles, and if we do end up black, it's, you know, castable removal. Yeah, we could take a second Rock Slide. Oh, there is a Cycling 1, too. That's a good point. I actually didn't see this. I'm on Cycling 1 over Easy Prey. And I'm on Cycling 1 over Rock Slide number 2. Great time for a Fire Prophecy here. Yeah, we have, we would not be able to play a Splendor Mare if we don't play any planes, but we can play a Coordinated Charge or a Rescuer as Cyclers if we need to. So, really, the only thing I feel we're definitely are here is red. We could take the Sky Cat and look for splashing. Take another Rock Slide. We could take this to help with the splashing. But I think we take the cat and see if we can't find the tools to run it. Yeah, second slide is okay too. See if we can get that later. I like a flyer on the kitty. Cycle 1 over Fixing. This Fixing would be nice. MB, because if you single click and don't do that drag maneuver, there's an itchy... Well, historically, I've seen itchy trigger fingers from this app, and I have accidentally picked stuff when I was just trying to reserve it. So if you click and drag, there's no way it accidentally picks it. Dracus is solid, but I'm not passing Cycle 1s, though. Not for Evolving Wilds, not for Dracus. We're taking Cycle 1. Dracus is good, but I'm taking the Cycling. And here, no Cycle 1, so it becomes Divine Arrow versus Suffocating Fumes. And I'm going to go with Arrow. It picks off Marmosets. Here's a Caves that we're going to want to take in hopes that we can maybe splash some of the black. Although, really what we want is to try and splash this. Checkpoint Officer is fine, but it's not amazing. And I'm going to take the Caves. Like, even being able to cast a Suffocating Fumes on occasion is really powerful in these kinds of decks. And this is, you can see why I'm prioritizing the Cycle 1. You see it slipping away from us here. Marmoset is a legit cycling payoff here. I'm going to actually take the Backwater. There's a world in which we play this to support both like the blue splash and the black splash. Take another Suffocating Fumes here, though. Over a Thornwood. Not trying to do anything green splashy yet, so... Nipper. Boy, the black is widely available. I'm going to put the Nipper in the board here. We're still in a world where I could see us ending up in black. But let's see what happens if we did not get our cycling stuff here, pack 2. And we did pass some significant cycling pack 1. So maybe somebody to our downstream early picked up on cycling, grabbed it, and now we're up against them a little bit. Look at this. Yeah, definitely a reasonable Sultai deck around these parts. This might be about my car tire, so I'm going to take this call. Tires are ready for pickup. Now, we got a pretty sweet rare. This has been very good for me. We do have on-color cycle ones and an Ominous Seas that's a great... It had both cycles and his cycling payoff. But this can do some things that other cards just can't. It really can come down and control a board on the ground. You just pick... You know, I've seen it do some real work. Really sad to pass 2 cycle ones and an Ominous Seas and this playable cycle 2. But also, given that we don't have like the insano payoffs for cycling right now, we do need to consider how we're going to get there if they kill our stuff, you know, and so we need some backup plans and just hard casting some creatures and attacking with them, or Skycat Sovereign, you know. I think we want the Lava Serpent here, but man, it's like this is decision time. We could take Blood Curdle and pull back in on the black, but I think we're just deep enough into the cycling now to stick with it. But we don't have like a we don't have any snare tacticians, so our interaction is low for a cycling deck. So yeah, the thing I like about picking up the Lava Serpent is that it's a legit win condition. You know, you can win with that. Pacifism is more removal we could grab while we have it. I do like the Wilds and the Crag, given our hopes to maybe do some splashing here. But I'm gonna take Pacifism, I think. Since again, we don't have snares, and when I don't have snare tacticians in a cycling deck, you gotta have actual removal. We're hoping to wheel Wolverine as a meh payoff. Yeah, I do too, but you don't like them pick 3. You want to get these pick 7 or later, you know? We'll see what wheels. I bet we wheel something just fine out of that pack. And here I'm going to take a healer over a Memory Leak, although this Cove, I really want this Cove. Really want to be able to play this Skycat, and this Cove helps with that, but I'm going to stick to the main plan. Maybe we can wheel a Cove or something. Hey, it's a Tactician. We're going to grab that over all this sweet Cycle 1. Now we're not set up for Lutri. But happy to get that Cycle 1, of course. Another Escape Protocol. Nothing here really for us. We could take a Wilt as a Cycle 2. Yeah, the Leak maybe comes back. What am I taking here? Wilt seems wrong, but I mean, I could take the Marshal, but that doesn't seem good. You could take the Poacher. Maybe let's just cut Poacher. Maybe we end up playing that, especially if that land comes back. Crystal, great. This is actually a good crystal for us. Cycle 2, and it produces black if we want to play a Poacher or cast a Fumes. But really, I want to try to get this Sovereign, get mana for this Sovereign. We don't have that yet. We could also take a Blade Banish, given our lack of interaction. I don't mind having one of these around. But I think this Cycle Crystal edges it out just a little bit. That was a tough one for me, though. I'm not sure what was right there. Here's just another Cycler. All right. late one mana cycler, which I'll happily take. Wouldn't mind that Raking Claws either, but cycle 1 still the king of my plans here. I don't think we're ever playing any of this. Could cut a squad. I'll take a sergeant, put it in the board. All right, Shredded Sails, not a bad pick for 11th or whatever here. Don't think we're doing that. Don't think we're doing this either, but I'll take the marginally maybe playable. Man, we did not get the stuff on the wheels that we were hoping to around here. Feels like we were up against maybe 2 other cycling drafters here. Didn't quite get paid off to the level I would have hoped, but wasn't awful. Yeah, felt like Pack 1 totally told us what to do and then just didn't quite get there the rest of the way. I am mostly caught up on my spreadsheet. There's some missing data still, but I think I have everything I've played in now properly documented. And I'm going to add this gem grind. And I'm going to add the date so I don't forget what date it is. Trying to be better about this. 6/8. And we paid 10,000 gold. We're going to be... Sadly, we can't play that cat. That's too bad. I'm going to call it white-red, though. We're not really splashing anything, although we might play the black land to be able to cast some of those black cyclers. We could play the backwater, but I think we just had to give up on the Sovereign. We didn't prioritize the blue fixing when I had chances here or there. So let's just give up on both Escape Protocol and Skycat. We'll deal with the probably just cutting 3 lands and calling this a deck, really. Let me do an actual check on cycle 1s, though. I mostly want to play the Stinger, but I will cycle it if I have to, so I'm calling it a cycle 1. Oh, fully grown, get gone. Boy, Bushmeat Poacher maybe has to go. We are low on playables, folks. We either have to play black, play more land. We also didn't get a Cathartic Reunion, which is really bad. May have to play some black. We do have a Bloodfell Caves and a Crystal. So if we played 1 swamp, we could have 3 sources of black. And then what are we doing with that? Probably Poacher to chew up Rescuer tokens. Yeah, cutting the cycling deck just generally means trying to prioritize cycle 1s when there's nothing great for you. But I kind of like... Hey, Zach, what's up? Let's cut that. That. 14. This is 14. We could just call it 15 and call it a deck. 12, 13, 14. It's not like we have a ton of cycle 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we want to play a couple of those. We want to play the Stinger. More like we have 6. So you could call this a 15 lander and that would be okay. We don't have much of a top end though. So feeling like we are going to flood if we do that. You know, this is a cycle 2. This is a cycle 2. This is a cycle 2. So when you start looking at these as cycle 2s, your curve looks a lot different, right? Suddenly this is our curve. But what are we putting in? If we're going to do that, we need to either put in... Light of Hope is something I've never main decked, and some talented players in our community here have suggested that it is main deckable. I never have. But maybe it has enough utility. +1/+1 counter, saving your Snare Tactician from the Fire Prophecy, that kind of thing. But I just feel like if we run a land, we're going to contribute to our flood. Yeah, Sergeant's a body, right? It's not one we're happy about, though. We could absolutely just toss in another body. Yeah, maybe we just run it. I think I run the Sergeant and we try it like this, but I'm going to keep an eye on this Sergeant and ask myself, solid footing, light of hope, more black splash. Yeah, I was thinking about destruction too. We do have pacifism, arrow, rock slide, and one other one. What's the other one we have? Prophecy. Anyway, we do have some interaction along with a tactician. So let's give this a try. What do we call this? Rat sleeves were what were requested. Now I got to do lands, which were, I believe, Eldraine, right? We got Eldraine lands. Can't I? Not letting me choose? All right, fine. I don't know what I'm doing wrong to not... All right, whatever. Where is Eldraine? Where is Eldraine? None of these. I can do this. Thanks. All right, I guess it's my choice among these then. I'm going to go with this. Looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool. And this looks pretty cool. No, no, no. I reject your suggestion. Yeah, blue-black gives a little utility, but I don't think it's worth it. Not like we can search this up, though. Should we put this in tapped so we can maybe play a Startling Development? That's the thing. It just gives us maybe a Startling Development. So I think the chance of casting a Startling Development, not worth the tapped swamp. Imagine we have Bushmeat Poacher in hand. We're trying to find our splash, and we draw it! And it enters tapped. So let's call this, I guess we are splashing black here, though, technically. This is a legit black splash now. And, let's, poaching... Eggs, swamps. Late cycles. I'm just gonna call it that. Move on. Let's actually play. Not my best deck name, but I want to play some Magic. Let's not overthink it. This doesn't look like a cycling deck, but I'm going to keep. Looking a little more like one. Do we cycle one here? I suppose we may want to do something on two. We don't have any payoffs yet, so I'll cycle. Stinger. No stinger, but if Oppo wants to get in with checkpoint officer, we'll pick it off with the arrow here. So we can drop a commando or adventurer. I think on the human deck, though, we want to probably put this on even. Does that make sense? Even though, I mean, it does block tokens, but I think even stops a lot of the removal in these colors between pacifism and blood. You know, the blood removal, blood curdle. So let's do this on even. I wonder if they attack with the commando. I'm certainly not blocking if they do. It's really a free attack for them with commando. It's a good bluff attack. Because I'm not going to risk my venture for a commando block. Well, they had the odd removal. And of course it is rare. Oh well. No ability to cast a poacher yet. We could cast a sergeant. We could fire prophecy away a poacher that we can't cast. I don't love... I'm just going to play the land, and I'm going to play the sergeant and see what they want to do with that. If they, I assume they'll attack with commando. I'll think about blocking, but we might just want to take it and see if we can make a race out of this. Yeah. Or maybe I just put this on the 1/1 and let them use removal. It's probably just the deal of damage dude, though. That's what this smells like to me. Or it's another commando. I'm gonna block this commando. I'm gonna take the block. I'm gonna take a little bit longer game here. We don't really have... This isn't really turning on our offense. If they drop another commando, eventually we can maybe fumes. Yeah, Deadeye is what it felt like. But in this case, we can hard cast the crystal so that we can play poacher. Does that make sense? I think we want to hard cast crystal here with the double black in hand and the fumes being able to take care of what we're seeing here. And there's plenty of 1 toughness humans they might add to the board, so let's do this. We can even fire prophecy pitching the fumes if we want. Yeah, it definitely snowballs. I feel like a lot of the times I win, I just keep my pressure rolling. Is it worth fire without pitching? This is a pretty good card as it is here, and could be worth it. But I think with the current board and everything, I'm willing to take this damage and see what they do. Make sure that, because if they play something really awesome with 3 toughness now, we'll be happy to snap that off instead. Yeah, Lightning Strike is fine, although it doesn't go to the face. But I'm going to now draw, if we draw a... well, I'm probably just going to play the Poacher. If we draw a land, though, we can have Poacher down and Prophecy at the ready. Although if we draw a land... thanks, Swamp. Thanks, Swamp. Now I kind of want to ditch the... do a Fire Prophecy ditching the Swamp. Why would you tap with that? Let's just do this. I'm going to definitely play the poacher here. Now, if they send in those 1/1s, it's going to sure feel like the Deadeye. Oops, didn't mean to float mana. So now, didn't really matter. We weren't going to use that mana if I wasn't going to cast the Fire Prophecy. So the question is, do we play the Swamp and Prophecy the Commando? We're at 12. All right, we're at 12. I'm just going to do it. No pitch. All right. Traded a card for a card. Didn't get the kill we wanted, but we got the card trade. Yeah, we're falling behind on a tempo front here, but pretty nice. Fumes plus pacifism will leave them with a single kitty cat. I'm gonna pacify now, though. Save the rock slide for something bigger. And we'll fumes on there. Well, we could just do it now. But if we do it on their turn, then they can't attack with the human under the kitty. So I'm going to do it here. I mean, is there any world in which they play something with 1 toughness pre-combat? Like, I don't know. I'm going to do it now. Oh no. I left stuff on from Friday when I actually talked to my viewers. Sorry, Oppo. Nothing personal. I don't do emotes. I don't do word bubble chat. Splendor Mare. I guess we're gonna rock slide first, and then have Splendor Mare. That's annoying, but lifelink will help. We hope. I'm gonna play both. I could get 1 tap and put life. Well, we could play the Snare Tactician and put a lifelink counter on it and tap the Whisperer. Playing, though, does allow us to even threaten to double block and kill the thing. I think we just play both. Hope to find some cycling. Yeah, if they do attack with the Whisperer, I am also on double block. The only card they have is a top deck. If they drew removal to blow out a double block, we just have to accept the bad luck of that spot. Interesting, but also, I mean, that gets good when you've got Commando plus Token being able to, cycle or play. I think we cycle this one, and we're going to tap down the Whisperer on their turn. Because they may go first in trying to tap down like our Splendor Mare, figuring they're going to get in with the Whisperer, and then we tap instead. Yeah, they're not going for it, so we're tapping first here. We could use this to tap again, but we want to save our cycling to continue tapping this Cavern Whisperer down, so I'm not going to do it again. This is great. It just means we have tapping for the next couple turns as it sits right now. Now this is a long, slow road as it currently sits. And we are somewhat at risking Divine Arrow or whatever, but I mean, we got to try and win the game. And if they want to keep doing their tap of our Splendor Mare, they cannot send in the human soldier, or else they don't have 2 humans for the tap. At this point, we let him take one of these. I don't want to cycle into something better. These are just identical cards, so we let him have one. No, I haven't seen our big rare. There are a lot of good enchantments floating around, a lot of removal enchantments, so maybe I'm coming around on that multi-mode white card as a grudgingly playable card if you have to. Like, we could run it in this deck and it wouldn't suck. Yeah, Light of Hope. We went with 15. 15 is where we landed on lands. No Cathartic Reunions, which is kind of sad. And I'm kind of sad, like, yeah, we're tapping this down or whatever, but eventually we're going to cycle into lands and have a turn without cycling, but we're not there yet. So I'm going to cycle another time here. Hopefully find some of our real action. We've got like a lava coil serpent, whatever. The 5/5 haste for 6 that cycles for 2 is in our deck somewhere. Of course, we've got the rare we pack one, pick one, which is Yadaro. Is that what it's called? Anyway, it's the 8/8 haste trample for 7 that cycles for 2 as well. All right, there we go. There's just some actual better action. That's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we draw it, though, we can just play the land and cast it. We don't need to play this to cast Yadaro at this point. I'm going to cycle the charge. I should have played the Marmoset after combat just to not give him choice, although they're going to tap what we can attack with, of course, so no big surprise there. Splendor Mare from their end is a little bit rough. I'm going to have to cycle this charge here. Oppo's ripping well. We're ripping decently. They're ripping very well. That could be GG. Too much mana, too much tapping from the lockdown. And here we are. This is where it peters out for us. We might even just be dead. Let's see. If they go... I guess we're not yeah, we're just dead. Let's see if they... We'll make them do it, but... Cycling did not get there here. Flooded out against a nice, solid black-white human deck. D, commenting on my disciplinary action only feeds trolls. Don't even mention it. You ought to know that. You're kind of the exception. When we take disciplinary action against D, you can say whatever you want. But when I take disciplinary action against others, just ignore. They figured it out, everybody. Just good old-fashioned magic loss. I don't have any big takeaways or learnings from that game, other than cycling is not unbeatable, and sometimes they do run out. Sometimes we run out. All good, D. Now what are we doing? No white, which is a bummer because all of our things that we actually want to play, or the two things we actually want to play here early, are white. We have enough cycling though that I kind of want to ride this out and look for white. Mulliganing is just so harsh, even with London. I don't want to be down a card. I'm going to keep this. We got enough going on in the cycling front to keep this. And I think I'm going to not cycle the healer. I could, though. I mean, what's my plan? I guess we get to untap and cycle the sails. Nah, I should cycle the healer. I'm being obstinate to not. There we go. That's fine. I mean, we would have drawn this and been able to cast the healer, but mainly I want to get the be able to hard cast the Splendor Mare, and now we can, so that's good. Oh, actually, I don't think we have nothing to arrow, but at least if we decide we need to, we could cycle this. Probably going to cycle the sails anyway. It's that dude. We're going to mare it up here, though. Or try. They got blue, so this could be scattered, but okay, if so be it. I'm pretty much never playing around scatter. So often they just don't have it, and I don't, like, I guess if you have other things you can do, that's fine, but I was never not going to do that there. I mean, I could have cycled. It's like, if they don't have it and you just didn't apply your 3/3 lifelink to that board, then you're just so sad. And look, we get it clears the way for Marm anyway. What did they get rid of? Looks like they're somewhat interesting. Reunioned and got rid of one land and one spell. For those of you counting at home, that's another notch on the belt for the Light of Day, or Light of Hope. Now let's go ahead and cycle Godzilla here. And then we have development cycle as well, if we don't find land. But there is land, so now we can just pass. I'm going to cycle this charge and play a poacher, go ahead and accept a Bonder attack, and eventually we're going to try and get Bonder with the Divine Arrow. Actually, that makes me say maybe let's not do the poacher. Let's go ahead and cycle. We could keep it in hopes of casting it soon, but I'm still into cycle here. And we're not playing the poacher under this plan, so I'm going to go ahead and use our black to do so. And we do have, like, stingers we might play, so I'm going to keep cycling. Sure thing. I didn't get something to play, but I will cycle this crystal before we untap. Maybe we just get the Divine Arrow off here, though. That's going to be what we're going to try. Hey, Sarge. Well, with no looting and no Cathartic Reunion, I'm just going to play out land and poacher here. Frill Scale is not scary at all right now. And probably cycle at the end of their turn. You can also poach away Marm, get some value there. I like that Yadaro gets around Scatter, gets around counter spells. They're holding, it seems like what they're holding up here, right? But I think I will go ahead and put him to the test. I'm going to start here, though. All right, not bad. Yeah, let's see if they got something. I'm feeling this is getting countered, but let's try. Sometimes it works. Then, in a sense, that scares me even more. I don't know what they've got going on in hand, but we're going to attack then. Keep making them have answers. All right. I was all ready to not see that serpent land or not connect, and instead it resolved and connected, so that's pretty good. Rock Slide is not an instant, so we can't do a double block blowout, but if they double block, it's a 2-for-1. Okay, they're not even going to do that. They're just racing. They're just like, we're racing. I'm like, all right, let's do that race. I'm going to go Rock Slide on the 4-3. Drop the Perimeter Sergeant and attack with everything. See if this resolves. Yeah, this is definitely a weirdo deck for Mappo. You don't see the old double Wild Bonder blue-red spells deck. I was just getting everything down. Why were you waiting on Sergeant? What are you worried about more? Yeah, this looks fine. We'll hard cast Healer and then start cycling. And with the Healer ready to go, I'm going to wait on the cycle 1. Maybe it's not even worth it for the 1 point of life, and I should just cycle 1 on 1. Yeah, I will, actually. It's just 1 point of life at this point. We want to find our red to get this going and find our other payoffs. At 2 lands, you really should be doing your cycle 1s on turn 1. Cycle 1 from Oppo, it seems, with the pausing. They're not choosing to use it. Interesting. They must have lands in hand and, yeah, payoffs that they actually want to make happen. I'm going to go cycle 1 Fumes over the cycle 1 here. Didn't find it. Of course, I'm going to offer Healer for Stinger because they're not going to take it. If we find land next turn, we get the nice Rescuer plus cycle 1. Hoping we pull that off at the very least. And pretty happy to see that, too. Healer, not a key payoff for us. Well, really hoping to find the land. We did not. We could cycle the Fumes looking for a land and do nothing this turn, but we're going to risk the Rescuer. We're going to put the Rescuer at risk here. We might not untap with it. But if we do, we'll be in decent shape. So I'm going to give this a shot to work and regroup if this gets killed too. You'd venture? Yeah, I'd love to venture. That would be sweet. To do that, I need a 3rd land, though. Oh, yeah, I see you're saying venture if you find the 3rd land. Well, I tend to like to get these things going ASAP. Come on, deck. Be a friend. Yeah, I hear you. I just caught up late. All right, now we have 2 cycle 1s, and we really need to find a land drop, so we're going to do our cycle 1s on that quest. Thanks, deck. All right, well, now we've got odd, even, even. I guess we'd better play on even. We can bounce off the odd and eat the evens. A day where Oppos have everything. I mean, what are you going to do, folks? What are you going to do? Got a little behind with some bad mana luck. And now, really up against it. What has to die? We could... Razor wants to just give it up. Are we just dead? Is there anything we can do? We need to prevent... We need to only take 2, so we need to stop 2 creatures, and I just don't see that. If we had cycle 1, you know, we could. As it is... If I rock slide this, we're just still dead. Yeah, we're just super we're super dead. There's nothing we can do. Oh, and thanks for that reminder. At least I get to play this, because somebody reminded me.
He's dead, Joe.
Cycle 2 Hope for Swamp doesn't even get us there, right? We cycle 2, we get the swamp, we play the swamp. Oh, then on their turn we could reduce. Yeah, you're right. We could have held out for mostly dead. But then we just would have been dead, right? It's 1 in a whatever to die the following turn instead. Well, Rough luck so far, rough results so far. No tilt, though. I feel we drafted pretty reasonably today, and we're playing pretty reasonably today. Some of you may have found your way into black with the draft we were having, but with our first pack, it was pretty clear we were supposed to take the signal and get into cycling. We did. We have a reasonable deck, but it's struggled more than it has hummed thus far. We'll see if we can turn it around here and rack up some extra wins before pivoting to something else. Yeah, Rob, the idea of that, what people were saying is we had 4 mana and a Fumes. We could have cycled 2 to find a swamp, play the swamp, Fumes on their turn, kill the kitty, make their 2 powers 1 power, and survive at 1, which didn't seem correct. Here we are with 1 mana and 2 cycle 1s. It's a little rough, but I am gonna... But the other thing is, like, then what happens if we get there? The answer is not much, so I'm actually gonna mulligan this. Normally I keep a single land and cycle 1, because you kind of have to make those types of keeps often with a cycling deck. But in this case, if we do the cycling and find our land, we're still not in amazing shape. We have the Venturer, which if we find... Maybe if this were a Plains, you could justify trying to make it to the Venturer. But I think... Usually I do make this greedy keep. It's just that in this case, if I follow through and I imagine us getting lucky and finding the lands we want, I'm still not super happy with where we end up. So I'm going to mulligan. And this looks a lot better to me. Ditch the Fumes, play Stinger, and start cycling. With the Stinger at the ready, I'm not going to cycle 1, though, here. I am going to take the damage. Depending on what we draw, we might cycle 2 first. Found the land, though, so really just going to play the land, attack, and hold. I don't like playing the crystal here. Mike questions, should we? I'm thinking no. Not until they give us something we care about fumesing or whatever. I think this is better as a cycle for us right now. This makes me wonder if we should hold the Fumes for casting, in which case I'm just going to cycle Ambush. And then, well, maybe I'll cycle Crystal first. I don't think we want... Yeah, well, if we want to cast the Fumes, I need to save the Crystal, unless we want to cast it later. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to play our game. Try to get there with it. There's the Poacher right on time. I'm gonna play the Plains and pass with everything up. Obviously, Poacher's not technically up. Mike wants to cycle for the Swamp draw. That seems too light to me, although I suppose if, like, it's not like I'm tapping on their turn. So I will cycle. I mean, playing the Swamp wouldn't matter, but I'm going to cycle here in case we find something like a Prickly Marmoset that we want to cast. That's the reason I'm doing this here. I'm in the Matrix, I guess. I did not call one time, Hat. Now I think we got to start cycling the fumes here. This doesn't matter anymore. We got to get on with it. Get him dead. This helps. I shouldn't let it auto-tap this. I should have done this at least. Then I could play Plains and have Fire Prophecy ready. But I still want to hold the Plains, I think, to pitch to the Fire Prophecy. Should be able to clip on Twitch. I don't know what you're doing it from, David, but... pretty good with all these tokens, though. We're still going to name even. I'm tempted to play the Plains so we have Prophecy plus Venture this turn. Yeah, Fumes got a lot better after Commando into Forbidden Friendship, but... Clip is gone. That's weird. I haven't even read about that. But something I'll look after the stream today. So, play the land or not? I think we do. It lets us hold up Fire Prophecy as just 3 damage. And then we're going to find more land. We'll find more land. And if we do, we have more Fire Prophecy fodder. And if we don't, we'll be happy to have Fire Prophecy available to us in case of need. Also could get rid of Bushmeat Poacher. We're not casting it till we find black. And we have cycled away the crystal. So now we're looking at swamp or tap land as the only options there. Boy, now I got a Fire Prophecy just so we don't have to sack one of our important creatures. Maybe I should have pitched the Poacher, though. I think I should have. I should have put the Poacher on the bottom. I'm being greedy about this Poacher. Huh. Now I am more into, we're gonna play the Tactician. Do you want to play the Rescuer? If they mutate onto this, we have to sack something. Ugh. They have more mutate, that's the question. We can attack with Adventurer. We're ahead on life. These can't block. Only the Commando can block. So I'm going to do that to start. I think I play the Rescuer, and then we may have to sack it if they come up with the Harvester cycle, or if they come up with the Harvester mutate. What do you think, gang? Are we hard casting this or saving for the tap? Because we could tap the Harvester too. Tap Harvester, or even, you know, tap Commando sets up for guaranteed 3. Yeah, let's play the Rescuer, and then... Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. If we do get forced to sack, we're going to have to sack the Stinger and hope we find Cycling. Because we find Cycling from here, we create sack fodder for more Harvester mutations, and that's more important than even the reach of the Stinger, I think. But let's see what lives. Let's see what we untap with. I really regret not sending Poacher to the bottom with Fire Prophecy now. This is just staring at us doing nothing. Literal 0. This could be a different card. It could be a random card from our deck, which seems much better than a pretty picture to look at as you make your Magic decisions. All right. That's amazing. And that means we get maybe tap into tap. Let's see if we find tap into tap. Or we could just wait. I could wait and tap on their turn. And then maybe might tap into tap and set up lethal. I think we cycle. Yeah, I think Mike likes tap 2/3 and get in for 3 with a ping, so we could get him to 3 right now. Yeah, let's just see. Let's see if they block. They did. All right, so now we're gonna cycle tap on their turn. And do it pre-combat just in case of nonsense. This is great because now we have the sack fodder. Well, if they chuck that at our face or at one of our creatures, that kind of sucks. But if it's just for attacks, that's okay. Real disaster is if Oppo uses this to take out our rescuer. Then that's pretty rough. Still not going to Divine Arrow my own creature, though. Gonna hope they don't have the sack. But I assume they do. I mean, that's why you play these things. Yeah, weaponize. Weaponize is rough. Man. Brutal. Pretty good draw, though. Everything gets to survive. They probably triple block, and we get everything but their Harvester, and then maybe the turn after we can get the Harvester with Divine Arrow. Pretty good draw for us. I think it's going to look pretty good after these blocks. They should put 2 dudes on the rescuer. Let's see if they figure that out. If they put 2 dudes on the rescuer, we might... yeah, no, they didn't, so I'm going to go for the charge. We could just go for the arrow, though. Arrow keeps the rescuer around, and then maybe they come with an aggressive attack, and we can charge... Oh, we can... How do we... Oh, yeah, well... 3, 4, 5... Oh, sorry, I was thinking this was... I was doing the math as though this were a 1-1. Sorry, folks. I'm not trying to slow roll you, Oppo. I legit thought that this was a 1-1. So that I was doing the math as though the unblocks were 1 power. Sorry, Oppo, not trying to slow roll. Just did bad math. Well, usually it's because I forget their life total, not because I forget the power and toughness of my creatures. Weird, but keepable. And has those questions about whether we cycle one on our own turn. Right now I'm leaning no with a solid turn 3 Lava Brink. I think I'll skip cycle 1 here, but probably will cycle a Fumes if we don't see anything suggesting that it's going to be a good card in this matchup. Could be. They got the red and the white. Let's see if they show us the blue to match their sleeves. Yeah, well, dying cancels all triggers in one sense. I think that's what they meant, Haj. Haj is being very specific about it, but yeah. Sorry, where are we at? We're on their turn. All right, sorry. And I'm not, yeah, I'm gonna wait. We got action, we got stuff. I think I'll cycle 2 though before we untap. It's probably more than 95.5, but I have done it once. I did a game. The only time you ever hard cast this is when it wins you the game. It was kind of cool too. I used a Moloch to cast a cycle creature from my graveyard and then played the Crater to give the cycle creature haste to win the game. So I have done it once. Oh no, sorry, wait, I used Moloch on the Footfall Crater, that's it. I used Moloch on the Footfall Crater to give the Moloch itself haste. It was pretty cool. But that's the only time I've ever played it is when I Moloched it to win. All right, you get that for sure. And I'm gonna cycle the Fumes. So normally we say even because of all the removal that is even. In this case, we could say odd to have a clean block on the Splendor Mare. We could also just say that we're gonna rock slide the Splendor Mare, not worry about it. Still name even and look to deal with this later. But I'm gonna go ahead and say odd. If this as a creature, if what we do with this creature is completely control their Splendor Mare and or draw out a powerful removal spell, that's fine. Could get pacified here, so anybody who's still on even, I totally get it. There's just a lot of, yeah, and there you go. That's someone who said, you know, they would want to do even, that's why. But I kind of did that because we do have the backup plan of our own removal here, so we're going to do that now. And try to cycle our way to some advantage. Yeah, it's true that red-white cycling does have some odd stuff that you want to manage as well. Well, we are getting beat up. We're going to start with a cycle of our Crater. Pacifism, are we doing that? Really rough that they're going to get to recast this. I'm still going to pacify though, although maybe I should let's cycle a Shredded Sails first. All right, flooding out heavily. Oppos made some good plays. Already feeling pretty rough about this one, if I'm honest. We're neither mostly dead or dead, but we are in a bad way. With 6, we can hard cast the Crystal, hard cast the Poacher, and we basically have to. Must be nice, Oppo. I got good cards in here somewhere, too. Hodge thinks we're stone dead. It's close, but I still think we're just at mostly levels.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Sergeant's not doing anything for us, although it does block the mayor. Do we get 2 life and a card, or do we keep the sergeant around to block the mayor? I think I'm gonna go for the life and the draw. Yeah, just what we were looking for. We got work today, gang. Cycle until we scoop. Good sequencing, Snare Tactician. Thanks a bunch. Fun times in Magic Land. What are you gonna do? I'm not even gonna save that one out because we're never battling a cycling deck for fun against viewers, because that's a contradiction in terms. All right, I'm gonna settle for a 2/3. I don't know. Pretty annoyed, but what are you gonna do? What did we get for that? 2 wins was 250 measly gems. Goodness.